is a new Joe Cool in Cincinnati, Ohio. We're going to talk about it here, up next, on No What's About It. What's up, everyone? It is Josh here from No Buts About It. I'm in my dining room in Indiana. Chus is in his basement in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And we're here to talk NFL football, Bengals, Colts, maybe a little bit of Steelers, but the Steelers took the week off. They didn't want to play this past week.
Take a break after Dublin.
Yeah, first set of bye weeks. That was actually really nice when I was making the notable injuries post and I didn't have to do like 4 teams. I was like, oh, that takes me like an hour anyway, so to not have to do 4 teams was kind of sweet. But yeah, we were talking about what we were going to talk about pre-show here, and then we just decided to wing it because it was getting confusing. So we're just gonna see where the road takes us.
We also started arguing in the before the show started. Not like bad arguing, but obviously football disagreements in one way, shape, or form. So, and we'll talk about it on No Buts About It.
Yeah, the topic will get. Oh, was that your intro? Do we got to do that again?
Yeah. My bad. Yeah, I didn't mean to cue it and make it start all of a sudden. Yeah. If we say that, if we gotta let Stan know, and if he says it, it's gonna play.
It will play.
Like
it's automatic. I don't actually have control over it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I think first topic of discussion though, and I don't hate it, but I also am willing to acknowledge that the Bengals have kind of taken over the podcast lately. But we've got the Bengals have had a lot to talk about, whether for better or for worse. And once again, we're talking about the Bengals.
I was gonna say, I know you like talking about the Bengals, but to be honest, last year we talked a lot about the Steelers and the Bengals. I feel like there was a lot more of a topic of discussion in the years past because, especially with the Steelers, I feel like right now there's not really a lot to talk about with the Steelers. Like, okay, yeah, they're on bye. They're not looking too bad so far. I don't know. So right. Bengals just feel like they're kind of going up and down on this roller coaster for the 2025 season. I don't really know what to expect with this Bengals team. So I don't know what's happening.
Lately, it's been just down. We're like on the Millennium Force, just off the top hill, just straight down. But we've got a plan to change that, and that plan, his name is Joe Flacco. So he was with the Cleveland Browns. He's obviously played for the Baltimore Ravens, and now he's the Cincinnati Bengals. So Joe Flacco, they want him to start on Sunday against the Green Bay Packers. So I guess before we get into the details of such, Chus, what are your initial reactions to hearing that Joe Flacco is now a Cincinnati Bengal?
Well, there's a couple of different things that went through my mind when I first heard it. First of all, I thought it was fake when I first read it because to see an AFC, you just don't hear about it too often. You don't hear a lot of times about a division rival trading with another division rival, especially in mid-season. For better or for worse, Cleveland and Cincinnati are trying to improve each other while, as you make the argument, the AFC North is wide open. So under that circumstance, why would Cleveland want to help Cincinnati's chances of winning the division is what I thought, if Cincinnati has an actual chance to win the division. Point being is that I genuinely thought it was fake, but then I realized I wasn't looking at an NFL spoof page. I was actually looking at the real NFL page, and I was like, okay, whatever, sure. Second of all, I saw you mention it in a reel on a YouTube short that you posted. I'm surprised it didn't reach out to Russell Wilson or reach out to the Giants about Russell Wilson or Jameis Winston. Nothing against Joe Flacco, but I felt like those two guys could have been, and we've talked about it on the show with Stan, and I just think that those guys could have been possibly better options than what you have. I mean, Joe Flacco is pretty consistent in some aspects, but he definitely done with Cleveland as well as what he's done with Indianapolis, and he has those up and down games, and especially with his age in comparison to some other quarterbacks with their age and stuff, it always hits different quarterbacks differently. I mean, granted, was Joe Flacco always in the best system? No, not necessarily. I mean, Baltimore obviously was probably his arguably best system, but I mean, now going to Cincinnati, he has, a powerful, wide receiver duo plus wide receiver depth. I mean, the running backs, I mean, if he can get them involved in the offense one way or another. I mean, Chase Brown is a very solid running back. And, I mean, he has the weapons to usually. I mean, but he has the weapons to work with, more or less, on the offense. Now, there are some concerns with it. There's a lot of concerns with it. Like I said, I still think Jameis Winston or Russell Wilson would have been a better option, but I'm eager for you to see how it plays out for the rest of the season since we're only in week 6.
Yeah, so the Cincinnati Bengals are 2-3. And those 3 losses have all come with Jake Browning starting the last 3 weeks. The face of a broken man in his press conference. That was after the not after the Lions game, but I forget which game was before that. I blocked them all out from my memory due to the pain.
Or was it?
No, it was Vikings was his first start, whatever the in between game was. But anyway. I think
the
Broncos. That's okay. Yep. I blocked it completely from my memory. But we talked about how the Bengals needed to do something. And the Bengals needed to decide what they were doing this season. Whether they were tanking or if they sincerely believed that Joe Burrow is coming back this season. We talked about this 2 weeks ago, I think, 2 episodes ago. And if you sincerely believe, if the doctors in the stadium, if the doctors outside of the stadium, if everyone you've talked to has said, hey, Joe Burrow will be able to come back this season. If you guys are still a viable playoff team in December, Joe Burrow will be your guy. Then you have to do something. And to me, this is the Bengals silently telling the world, we firmly believe Joe Burrow will be back in December. We firmly believe that we need to be in playoff contention in December when Joe Burrow returns. And Jake Browning just was not getting it done. I really thought, and I really do believe Zach Taylor believed in Jake Browning because that 2023 run made you think Jake Browning was a viable quarterback. But he just was causing too many turnovers. And I was thinking about this a few nights ago. The Cincinnati Bengals lost to the Lions by 13 points. That's 2 possessions. The turnover margin in that game was 2. Because Jake threw 3 interceptions, and then Trey Hendrickson forced a fumble off Jared Goff. So the net turnover margin for the Cincinnati Bengals, or for the Detroit Lions, was 2. And that's how many drives they lost by. The defense did, at one point during the game, step up, and they started forcing the Lions to go 3 and out, play poorly. Like, they were playing well. Now, obviously, it's a different game with Joe Flacco, and it's a different game with Joe Burrow in. And I'm not saying that the Detroit Lions automatically lose that game if Jake Browning isn't in, but I do think it's notable that the amount of points that the Lions scored over the Bengals was the amount of possessions that they were handed by Jake Browning on stupid interceptions. Like, they weren't even like, oh, I understand how he could have done. They were just like mind-boggling. One of them, it was like he just decided he needed to throw the ball, so he threw it to Alex Anzalone. For some reason, he was like, oh, he's there. And Alex Anzalone was just like, okay, thank you. But overall, this trade, it was a shock to me too, because I didn't even know Joe Flacco was an option, because he was in the AFC North, like you said. There are still fans that are saying they should have talked to Kirk Cousins. That wasn't an option. That's
I don't agree with that, but
terrible because his contract was so big, and yeah, that was never going to be an option. However, I do agree that Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston both should have been called. Russell Wilson would have been my favorite to get it. I know a lot of people really like Jameis Winston too, and that's fine. It doesn't matter anymore because Joe Flacco is. I guess it never actually said the full trade details, and I think they're actually kind of interesting. The Bengals acquired Joe Flacco in a 2026 sixth-round pick for Cincinnati's 2026 fifth-round pick. And I think that fifth-round pick is interesting because we've talked about how the Cleveland Browns, if Dylan Gabriel works out, and we're going to talk about Dylan Gabriel a little bit longer here, they had a really, really good draft, probably the best this year, with Mason Graham, Carson Schwessinger. You have Dylan Sampson, Dylan Gabriel. If your worst pick ends up being Shedeur Sanders, guess what round Shedeur Sanders is in? The fifth. They just got that pick back, basically.
Yeah.
In their minds, I think. Now, the other criticism I've seen of this, Joe Flacco is going to die behind a bad offensive line. Cleveland has a terrible offensive line. They have injuries on their line, and they are not much better, if not worse, than the Cincinnati Bengals O-line. So he's already used to that. Does the Cincinnati Bengals offense with Joe Flacco scare you more as a Steelers fan than it does with Jake Browning at all?
Well, coming from a Steelers fan, I feel like we have bad luck against Joe Flacco in every way, shape, and form. So anytime that we have to play Joe Flacco, I'm not really looking forward to it. So I would say yes on that circumstance. But also, I mean, coming from a division rival, no matter who's in the backfield, I feel like it's going to be difficult. I probably would say that I was way more confident with Jake Browning going in there. My dad and I, Tom, shout out Tom, friend of the show, we talked about this before the trade actually happened, and we had mentioned that knowing the Steelers locked Dylan Gabriel would have a bad game on Sunday or get hurt or something, and Joe Flacco would go in and somehow lead Cleveland to victory in the first win in Cleveland Browns history in Acrisure Stadium since the conception of the team, or however long it's been. 2001, I think, was the last time they won here. We figured that would be our luck because Joe Flacco just seems to have had our number over the last couple of years. Maybe I'm wrong with that. Maybe it just doesn't. Maybe he has a losing record, but nonetheless, it just feels that way. So coming from a Steelers fan, I would just say yeah, just under that circumstance. Now, with the team that we have, I'm confident that we'll be able to hold our ground. Now, granted, we don't really do very well on Thursday Night Football. At least in the last couple of years, we haven't really seemed to have succeeded in Thursday Night Football games, no matter who's in the backfield or whatnot. And since it's away, it definitely doesn't help. So it'll be interesting to see how that game plays out on Thursday against the Bengals. But yeah, I'd say I'm a little bit more nervous now with Joe Flacco in there, but I don't think I've lost confidence in my team, more or less.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I guess I don't really know how to feel. I do feel more comfortable with Joe Flacco as the quarterback than I do Jake Browning at this point. And I feel bad for Jake Browning because he was a hero in 2023, and now he's like public enemy number 2 behind Zach Taylor. But there were also rumors that they talked to Drew Lock, who's in Seattle.
Interesting.
They also he's with the Eagles now. I couldn't find a photo of him with the Eagles. Drew Lock, Sam Howell, who's now with the Eagles, was also a target of the Bengals. So if those are your options, and we're not contacting the Giants for some reason, yeah, Joe Flacco is the one I'm going with for
Right.
obvious reasons. Um,
Super Bowl
he
MVP,
went up.
He's got that experience.
Yeah, 12 years ago or whatever.
He's got that experience. It doesn't matter. He's got that
No,
experience.
that's true. But you got, he does have knowledge of John Harbaugh, which is good. Granted, that was however many years ago. He has knowledge of the Browns, obviously, and he has knowledge of the Green Bay Packers, who the Bengals play this Sunday. And he just played as a Cleveland Brown. He's also already played, I believe, the Ravens once this season. If I remember, yeah, he played the Ravens. They played like week 2 or something. Yeah,
Mhm.
so he's already seen that team that's struggling. So he does have some knowledge to bring to the table. And I think he also brings in a voice of leadership that the Bengals need that Zach Taylor isn't necessarily providing to these young guys. And really, you just needed someone who isn't going to throw a ton of interceptions and can get the ball on a regular basis, kind of like what you mentioned.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm not like over the moon about this trade. I'm not like, I think I'm just more still like shell shocked by it at this point because I think Adam Schefter said it's like the 3rd trade in division since 1980 involving a quarterback or something like this never happens.
It's a weird thing. That's why I didn't think it was real. I was like, this is just not like this. Like I said, I genuinely thought it was a spoof, but it was real, and it very much is going to be coming to reality on Sunday. So
yeah, we'll see if they win on. Just a heads up, if they win on Sunday, I will be declaring all quarterbacks for the Bengals in the future be named Joe. We'll have no other quarterbacks. But yeah, that's just kind of my initial thoughts. It's kind of hard to wrap my mind around until we get to see him actually play as a Bengal. But let's stay in division. Let's talk about another Cleveland Browns quarterback. One who got his first start on Sunday.
He did.
Yeah. Mr. Dylan Gabriel.
Yeah.
Okay. And Dylan Gabriel, I don't know if you watched this game. I caught the back half of it after we got back from church. He didn't look bad. Like, I think his box score, let's see what his actual stats ended up being.
Yeah, for the record, I did not I did not end up watching this game. What time was this game? Was this
this was 9:30 in the morning?
Yeah, I was gonna say I did not watch this game because I know that we got it, but I just didn't end up watching.
You were still sleeping.
I definitely was. Yeah, I definitely was. What was I doing on Sunday? Yeah, I mean, I was gone in the afternoon. I missed a lot of the games on Sunday because I was in photography. But yeah, so I can't say that I saw. I mean, I looked at the stats. I mean, I'm sure you'll mention it too. I mean, the quarterback in his debut
against
and
Brian
of course
Flores
with the Cleveland Browns. I mean, that's always a top point of reference as well. So,
but I mean, to have your first start in another country, you weren't even in the United States.
Very fun, of course.
Then you're going against one of the best defensive coordinators in the NFL. You got some injuries, and you get your first passing touchdown, and Harold Fannin Jr., shout out Harold Fannin Jr., first receiving touchdown in their careers. I thought he looked pretty poised, all things considered. And I know 57.6% doesn't look great. You want that to come up. Like, that's not even,
you know.
It should. Yeah, but he looked poised. He looked dangerous. I understand kind of why the Browns wanted this guy. If that's what he's going to be able to do. He wasn't perfect, and I didn't expect him to be perfect. That offensive line, as I mentioned earlier, isn't great. I think both their tackles are injured. Both their starting tackles are hurt. So he had to move a lot. He had to throw on the run quite a bit. But he did it. He looked okay. And they only lost by a little bit.
21-17.
They lost 21-17, and it was a last second go ahead thing by Jordan
Addison. Yeah, I know. I got the notification about that. I did see. I do stand corrected. I watched the last drive by the Vikings. So
Okay,
but yeah, that because I remember seeing that and cheering for joy because Jordan Addison, Vikings legend.
So
legend.
with
USC
the knowledge of Dylan Gabriel didn't necessarily light up things, but he didn't look terrible either. Where do you stand with the Cleveland Browns at the quarterback position right now?
I mean, I still wouldn't invest too heavily in the idea just because it's one game. I mean, the Vikings have been kind of on this weird stretch of losing really close games recently, or I guess blowing out. Anyway, point being is,
thanks.
yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to ruffle your feathers or anything. Anyway, but yeah, I think for me, I think just I was impressed with Jackson Dart with the Giants, but obviously they did not come up with a victory this week when they probably should have. So I think, granted, there's a lot of things against the Giants right now. I mean, they're missing Malik Neighbors, and now they have Darius Slayton also out this week. So, I mean, they're just getting killed on this wide receiver position for Jackson Dart. He doesn't really have a whole lot of weapons other than Kim Scatabo to work with. But moving with Dylan Gabriel, I think the problem with that's involved in that offense as well. I would like to see more from him going into the next couple of weeks. I mean, you're playing in another country, you're playing a non-division rival, or nobody, not even a team in your conference, and the team is kind of struggling a little bit, not crazy struggling, but definitely like we mentioned, struggling a little bit to close out games. I mean, the Steelers were winning 24-14. The Vikings slowly climbed back and lost still 24-21. And then in this game, I mean, they ended up winning, 21-17 last minute. So, I mean, point being is, I think although Cleveland didn't, win and they still looked okay, I mean, yeah, I need to see. I just need to see more. I think I just need to see more because I'm just not. I don't think I'm necessarily impressed yet. And with Jackson Dart, I think I hyped it up way too much. I think I just need to see more from these young quarterbacks and stuff. Whereas last year and years prior, you see Jane Daniels come in and light it up, and then he just consistently goes through. Bo Nix, and I think we'll probably see that with Gabriel. We'll probably see that with Dart. I'm expecting big things from both of them, but it's so early on, and you're not versing great teams. I don't consider the Vikings a bad team, but I think with the quarterback situation that they have going on right now, I feel like they're kind of up and down from last year, very much from last year. So I need them to get a big win, and I don't expect it to be against Pittsburgh, and I don't know who they play after that, but it'll come, I imagine. But I think they have some holes still.
Okay, so we talked. This is kind of where we started arguing, as you put it, at the top of the show.
Yeah.
I said
disagreeing.
The AFC North is still wide open. I think any of these four teams can still win this. And the one I actually think is going to struggle the most, shocking, would be the Ravens.
Oh, I agree with that.
Okay. So Lamar Jackson's injured. Let me just read the standings real quick. The Steelers lead with 3. They're 3-1. The Bengals are 2-3. The Ravens are 1-4, and the Browns are 1-4. Okay. The Ravens have all the injuries. They're just decimated.
Yeah, they're cooked. I mean, I love the idea of the Ravens winning the division like they've won the last couple of years, but it's just not gonna happen. It's not gonna.
Okay, so let's look. Bengals are 2-3. Okay. We just traded for a quarterback, and I'm not saying he's gonna come in and we're gonna win every game from now. We might lose this weekend. I fully expected us to lose this weekend. But then we've already got a win against the Browns, and we play you in not this weekend, but the next weekend. Then we got the Jets, Bears.
It's next week. I mean, we play Thursday. next
Okay,
Thursday.
yeah, next week. You're right. Okay. I'm just looking at the order. So we play
Short schedule though, but you just gotta think of like the short schedule.
right. Packers. We go Packers, Steelers, and then Jets, Bears, and then Steelers again. I think we can pick up some wins there with Joe Flacco. We should be able to pick up some wins with Joe Flacco there. Okay. Now, also, the Browns. I think if Dylan Gabriel comes in and plays like he did against the Vikings, the Steelers game will at least be competitive. I don't know that they win. However, after the Steelers, they have the Dolphins, who suck. They're awful, and the Browns' defense is great. And then they have the Patriots, who they're starting to get a little bit in. Not too bad. Patriots probably should win that one. We'll see how Dylan Gabriel looks against the Steelers, but right now I'll say the Patriots should probably win that one. Then they get Jets, Ravens, Raiders. The 49ers, Titans, Bears. They have a pretty easy schedule. I think the Browns could make a run for it as well. But you seem extremely confident in your 40-year-old quarterback over my 40-year-old quarterback and then the rookie up the street. So why are you so confident that you're in week 5 that the Steelers have already locked up the AFC North?
Well, I don't necessarily think that we've necessarily already locked up the AFC North, but I can't see an argument as of this moment for all 4 of the teams to still have a possibility of winning the division. Like everyone having almost like a 25% chance to win. First and foremost, I mean, I like what I saw with Dylan Gabriel, but I don't think Cleveland's ready for a division push. I mean, you still have to play. You're still gonna have to. They're gonna have to play the Bengals. They're gonna have to play the Steelers twice. Like I said, the Browns statistically have not won in Pittsburgh during the regular season in like 20 plus years. And I can't see Dylan Gabriel making his first big win being against the Steelers. If it happens, I mean, crazy. But the Steelers defense is very strong. That pass rush is crazy. That offensive line, similar to the Bengals offensive line, is not real good right now. So you have a strong pass rush with really good linebackers and stuff. Yes, our defense has been lacking a little bit in some areas, but they seem to be coming into their own. I think for a rookie quarterback in his second start in Pittsburgh is not going to win that game. And therefore, yes, they have some easier wins possibly coming up over the next couple of weeks with teams such as the Dolphins, the Patriots, maybe the Jets. I mean, the problem that I have is like teams like the Jets. I think that they're just struggling to close out those games. I feel like the Jets at any point could pick up a victory. I mean, they're losing by like 2 points. I mean, they lose by 2 points to the Buccaneers. They lose by 2 points to the Steelers. Like they lose by one possession here and there. I don't know if it's necessarily a Jets like a team problem. I just think they're struggling to close out games. But what I'm saying is, I don't think the Browns, for example, are going to be able to make a push. Not yet. Maybe next year. I just don't think yet. I think they're missing pieces and they're injured. Second of all, the Bengals, the offensive line. I still think you guys need to figure that out. And the defense. You guys have let up over probably 100 points at this point. And you're telling me that as of this moment, you guys have a chance to win the division. I can't see it until Al Golden figures out the defense and gets you guys confident that you guys have a chance to win the division. I don't care how good Joe Flacco is. You guys need to actually figure out what you're doing with the offensive line and the defense so you can get the run game going. And on top of that, get the defense going. And lastly, the Ravens are a mess. You got Lamar Jackson probably out, 2 weeks, 2, 3, 4 weeks. You're just going to keep falling down, all these injuries and stuff like that. And the Ravens are just going to keep falling further and further down. And it sucks because everyone always talks about the big bad Ravens, and every year the Ravens are going to, make that AFC North push every single year, and they're going to win the division. Right now, the way that I just outlined that picture, even though the Steelers aren't the best team in the world, it would make them the most sense to probably pull out the 4th seed as of right now. And maybe this changes. Maybe Joe Flacco goes crazy. maybe the defense figures out for the Bengals. Maybe Dylan Gabriel turns into Bo Nix and just starts lighting it up and goes, berserk over these last couple of games. The problem the Steelers have will be their schedule at the end. They packed up the December schedule again. It's going to be hard. You have Buffalo in there. I mean, the Lions are going to be in there. It's not going to be easy again. But as of this moment, I don't think it's as wide open as people think.
The Browns in this deep, we've talked about, like, it feels like every season since we started this podcast. The Browns have an overlooked defense. They have maybe the best defense in the league. Maybe. I'm not saying they do. I'm saying maybe. I'm saying there's an argument. The rookie quarterback went up against. Would you say that the Steelers' defense is better than the Vikings' defense right now?
I could probably make an argument. Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I feel like they're kind of. I would probably say not right now. No.
Okay.
But yeah, I would probably say that the Vikings have had a better stretch so far over the last couple of games.
So Dylan Gabriel went in and against one of the most complicated defensive schemes in the NFL with some of the best defensive players in the NFL. And in a different country, like that, people overlook that, but like imagine your sleep schedule and all that gets thrown off in a different country and didn't get absolutely murdered. Okay. How much emphasis are you putting on this game on Sunday? Like if Dylan Gabriel comes out and beats the Steelers by, let's say it's just 3 points. Let's say it's a field goal. Smith or Smite or however you say his last name comes out, kicks a game-winning field goal against the Steelers, and they walk off. Then are you a little bit like, oh, maybe we need to watch out for the Browns?
Probably.
Or are you still just like,
no, I mean, probably. I mean, it would, but also it would be very situational. You have to, I mean, if we're getting plagued with injuries, Aaron Rodgers goes down, TJ Watt goes down, we lose Deshaun Elliott again, and then all of a sudden, Kenneth Gainwell, sorry. Kenneth Gainwell goes down, and it's not, and Caleb Johnson's running the ball with, Mason Rudolph. I mean, yeah, at that point, you're going to be like, no, I don't think the Browns are still in that spot, but now we're looking at a possible fluke of whoever wins this division here because every quarterback is hurt. But if it's a competitive game and they win like 27-24 or something like that, I'll be like, all right, yeah, probably. They're probably a team that's been sneaky good, and we just kind of overlooked them. But, I mean, the Vikings, the thing with the Vikings, all things considered, is their defense. I mean, I like I said, I like their defense and stuff like that. But once again, I mean, the Steelers played them in Dublin like 2 weeks ago, and we won. We put up 24 points. I'm pretty sure that's like the most points that they've led up this season. So, which is pretty impressive, all things considered. I mean, the Steelers' most, I think, is like 30. I guess it would be 32, but nonetheless, or 34 because of the Seahawks. I think that was a 34-17 final. Either way, point being is that I think the Steelers' defense have struggled, but I think that our offense can be very productive. And yes, the Cleveland Browns defense is very good, and like you said, it's very overlooked. But like I said, I mean, I'm just not confident in the Cleveland Browns being able to make this AFC North push that you're saying. I just don't see it yet. Like I can't. Like I just don't. I mean, it's hard to fathom it. Yes, but a couple of years ago in 2021 or however long ago it was, 2020. Either way, Cleveland was making those pushes because they had like a good offense and a solid defense. And you're like, okay, this team's actually kind of legit. And they Baker Mayfield, and then they realize, you know what? Deshaun Watson's the reason that the Cleveland Browns exist. So they trade away Baker Mayfield and then have 3 years of crap. But now they have to run with Dylan Gabriel, who should be pretty good. We don't know where his ceiling is yet. Is he going to be better than Baker Mayfield? Is he going to be Baker Mayfield? Is he going to be more like Kirk Cousins? We don't really know yet. But for me, like I said, I just don't see it. I can't see it. And Baltimore's too hurt. And I think you guys have a lot to figure out. And I still think Zach Taylor's on the hot seat, regardless of this Joe Flacco move.
Well, yeah, Joe. I have Zach Taylor aside. I think the Bengals can make a run regardless. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens Sunday. That's going to be a big game. But why am I rooting for the Browns now?
Because you don't want to see the Steelers. Well, because you don't want to see the Steelers win, and that's fine. I get that because we've caused you so much pain and suffering over the 2010s, and I get it. It happens. Life happens.
No, they drafted all these guys that I like. They drafted Harold Fannin Jr. They drafted Dylan Sampson. They drafted Mason Graham. I'm pretty sure their GM just listened to the podcast and said, "Okay, we're just going to draft whoever."
They're not even using Dylan Sampson, which is frustrating. But I mean, Quinshon Judkins is pretty solid. But I mean, I liked Dylan Sampson. I don't know why they didn't use him.
Yeah, I mean, I think Dylan Sampson still has a future with the team. They brought in Isaiah Bond after he got cleared of his stuff. Duke Tobin should listen to the podcast because the Browns GM is doing it and it's working out pretty well for him. I think there's a path forward. I think they can do it. I think it'll be really stupid when it happens or if it happens, but I do think that I would not count the Cleveland Browns out yet. The Bengals fans got their wish of having the same record as the Chiefs and being better than the Ravens. That is currently true. The Bengals have the same exact record as the Kansas City Chiefs and are better than the Baltimore Ravens. So it's a really.
I'm just rooting for a goofy season. You're hearing everybody talk about how this is going to be a goofy finish. I'm really hoping for a goofy finish. Do you see the top 7 like the AFC like conference standings right now? Like, do you see like if the playoffs started today, like how it would look? It's somebody did it. It's like,
but
yeah, I mean, right now you have it's Buffalo, Indianapolis, Pittsburgh Chargers as the 4 division winners, so the top 4 seeds. And then your wild cards are Denver, Jacksonville, and New England. Like, I don't know. I just find like that's very interesting to me. And then your teams on the outside looking in that you would expect or that you didn't expect are Houston, Baltimore, Kansas City, Cincinnati. Like, I guess even question mark. I guess Miami maybe if you really wanted to go that far. But a lot of teams that you were expecting, just the AFC just looks silly, and I love it. I mean, I don't know much about. I haven't really been following too much of the NFC. I guess we can go and look over
the NFC. Do you remember the 2017?
I mean, the NFC looks exactly the same. It looks exactly. 2017. I mean, that was peak season. I mean, yeah. I mean, everyone's been talking about this. I love this. This was so goofy. Case Keenum, Nick Foles, Tom Brady, Blake Bortles. Listen, there is a chance you could see Daniel Jones in the AFC Championship. Yeah, let that sink in. Like, that's crazy. Or like if you think that genuinely like the Cincinnati Bengals or Cleveland makes like this crazy deep playoff run, you could see Dylan Gabriel or like if maybe Joe Burrow doesn't come back. Maybe Joe Flacco wins 15 games in a row or something, and they decide to keep Joe Flacco in, and then Joe Flacco's on that poster. Like, what? Like, I don't know. Like, it's just weird to think about what the possibilities of what it possibly could be. Because these quarterbacks, like, bro, I mean, the Kansas City fans are freaking making me laugh. Though I on the same, somebody posted like the AFC standings, okay, just how they are right now, and somebody was like, I forget what they said. I don't know if I screenshotted it because I like to screenshot a lot of things because especially when I see things that are funny. I don't think I screenshotted it, but what it was this guy commented on like the 7 teams in the AFC, and he was like Chiefs Kingdom working in silent every year. Every year, just like in 2021, they always doubt us every single year. And look what happened in 2021. Keep doubting us. And then somebody in the comments was like, chill, bro. It's just the standings right now. Like, it's not. But I think Chiefs fans are like losing their minds right now. 2 and 3. They're like count us out. We're count us out. I'm like, yeah. So we got to can't count out the Chiefs yet. I mean, granted,
you can't, but funny.
it's just funny that these Chiefs fans are actually just like losing their minds when they don't see the Chiefs in these top 7 graphics. They're like, keep doubting us. We're not doubting you. Play better. Just you're not in the top 7 right now. That's pretty much what I was laughing about when I saw it. I'm like, bro, come on, drama queen.
What about the Jaguars? The Jaguars are like, their only loss is to the Bengals in the game that Joe Burrow got hurt in, and Jake Browning came into. And then did you watch Monday Night Football? I have the clip here of the go-ahead touchdown. Did you see
yeah. Please play.
Okay, I screen recorded it. This is obviously ESPN.
Yeah, I want to rewatch this. This is
not taking credit
crazy.
For anything. Just...
so I guess he wasn't considered down then, because obviously they won. But like, did he? So
the right guard stepped on his foot and he fell down.
So. Okay, but he only had one knee down, so I guess he wasn't down.
He wasn't down because none of the Chiefs players. Here, replay it. The Chiefs, none of the Chiefs players ever touched him.
You know what? That's true. Yeah. Yep. That's fair. You know what? Maybe teams should do this more often, because maybe it'll throw off defenses.
I saw a video, and it was a guy like pretending to be Dan Campbell, and he's like talking to Jared Goff, and he's like, Jared, how fast can you lay down on the ground and then get up and run in for a touchdown? It was just like, oh my God, that is the most Jaguars way to win that game ever. And then the Chiefs still had a chance, and the Patrick Mahomes threw the ball, and Marquise Brown wide open field. And you're like, shoot, they're going to do it again. Marquise Brown doesn't look. He didn't look at the ball, and it hits him in the shoulder pad. I was rooting for the Jaguars, obviously, because I can't stand the Chiefs. And I was just like, yes.
Yeah, I feel like you and the majority of the world can't stand the Chiefs right now. I feel like
I don't think people realize that the Jaguars have a 4-1 record, which is just insane. First year head coach. Their defense is really good too. I think they have like 14 turnovers already or something like that. Something ridiculous.
I mean, the AFC South, I mean, we talked about that division being probably the crappiest AFC division of them all. And that division is probably the most entertaining and probably the most competitive, because you have the Colts and the Jags both at 4-1. And then Houston, although it's 2-3, I feel like it's not out of reach to argue that they could probably, maybe not necessarily make a push for the top spot, but could at least, cause some mischief, some riffraff, as you will, in the AFC South. Now, granted, Tennessee is not in this conversation as of this moment, but I think we should probably highlight the Tennessee Titans-Arizona Cardinals game this past Sunday. Did you see it? I'm guessing you probably saw highlights because it was all over the place. I mean, what's going on with the Arizona Cardinals here? I mean, I don't. What do they need to figure out? What do you think, Josh? What do you think they need to figure out? Debut win, or we might need debut win.
We might need to get Joe Camo on the show to talk about that a little bit. The Cardinal rule.
Yeah.
But I saw Jonathan Gannon got fined. I think it was $100,000 for hitting Amari DiMarcardo on the sideline after he did an AD Mitchell 2 weeks in a row. We have had a player run across the goal line and just throw the ball through the back of the end zone.
How many times do we have to teach you this lesson? How many times, like what was going on in his head? He was like, oh, AD Mitchell, like it probably popped up on his feed, AD Mitchell doing it. I mean, there's no way that these players are that oblivious, And then he was like, oh, let me do it. Like, that's the problem that I have with these players. It's like and it happened a week, like it happened literally a week before. So it makes it even worse.
I get you're a fourth string touchdowns a lot, but dude, you were right there. Like I like it wasn't. I'm not saying it was right that Jonathan Gannon hit him. Don't
absolutely not. No,
but I understand it a little. I kind of understand like the anger behind it. Of dude, we just went over this last week, but now we lost to the Tennessee.
This is a very NFL thing that's going on this year. I mean, We've had the two dropping it in the end zone. You've got Caleb Johnson just kind of letting it roll into the are these players just like not having the same football IQ anymore? Like what happened to the football IQ that we've known and loved for years? Like I feel like these players just don't have it anymore. Like they're just making stupid mistakes.
Players just aren't stepping out of bounds before touching the ball like Randall Cobb did back in the day.
Yeah,
that was Randall Cobb. You just don't see it anymore. But I think it comes down to coaching. I would think, because
probably
it's the coach's job to make sure the players know the rules. And honestly, if I was a coach, I would have been playing that AD Mitchell clip all week. I'd have been like, don't do this.
Yeah.
And he did it. Especially these young guys. They get excited. It's understandable. It's understandable. You get excited. You're about to score an NFL touchdown. I get it. But then you end up not scoring an NFL touchdown. So, like, a good coach, I would think, would A, obviously want their players to score touchdowns, but B, doesn't want to lose games, stupid situations, to the Tennessee Titans, like the Arizona Cardinals did. And now Kyler Murray might have a broken foot, but it's like, you're just, the Arizona Cardinals, like,
the argument, it's sad because, I tried to make an argument for them being kind of sneaky this year, and they look awful. I mean, and it's not even just that play. I mean, we're talking about that interception that they have when he got the Cardinals player got. I don't know who it was. I just watched the play happen. He gets the interception. He falls on the ground. He fumbles it, and then a sloppy Madden play decides to occur, and they all trip and fall to try to get the ball, and it just ends up rolling so far away that the Titans player picked it back up and scored a touchdown.
I didn't see that.
You didn't see that?
No.
No, you didn't see that? Dude, it was unfreaking believable. You have to go watch that after. Like, it is the most insane thing. It's literally, he got the interception. He goes, he falls down, he loses the ball. 3 different Cardinals players go to try to pick it up. They end up kicking it further away. They go and try to grab it. They miss. Then a Titans player, I don't remember who it was. I want to say it was like, I don't remember who it was, but he ends up picking it up in the end zone and getting a touchdown for 6. It might have been like Calvin Ridley or something, just because. But I remember somebody complaining about it to me, because it ended up screwing up their fantasy production. So wow. Yeah, Woods. It was Robert Woods. I think Robert Woods got the touchdown technically for it.
Okay. Fancy.
Yeah, you didn't.
We're very high tech here. Oh my gosh! For those not watching the video, Chus is holding his phone up to the camera.
I just don't. How does that happen?
So you got to grease up that ball, I think, and do the old water hose technique, and I practice again. While we're talking about stupid plays, this isn't one that actually occurred, but it is one that I never thought about that could potentially occur in the future. Okay. Jalen Hurts threw a Hail Mary, okay? And then chased after it himself. And he made it. He didn't make it quite to the end zone when he was chasing after it, but he made it kind of, maybe it was just the angle of the video, but the angle of the video I saw, he made it within a reasonable distance that if that ball got tipped and started getting bounced around, he could have caught it. So theoretically, in the future, we could see a quarterback catch their own Hail Mary pass. And I've never thought about that.
Is that legal? Is that legal per NFL standards? Are you allowed to catch your own ball?
Yeah, there's been 2 quarterbacks that have done it. I can't remember the first guy who did it. But Marcus Mariota is the other one.
Oh yes, I do remember seeing that because people glazed that.
He threw it and then it got deflected back to him and he caught it and ran in for a touchdown, I believe.
I do remember that, yeah.
So,
but I guess it's a possible thing.
That's only happened twice.
I mean, it's hard thing to do. I mean, it's easy to do it in your backyard when you're throwing the football up to yourself and you're just kind of running after it. But in the NFL, when you're doing it, it's not that easy.
That's gonna be a crazy day when that happens. But they asked Jalen Hurts, like, why were you chasing your Hail Mary? And he was like, I hate losing.
I mean,
like, you never know.
That's a good reason, honestly.
Like,
I mean,
fair enough. Fair enough, Jalen. Now that we've talked about all of that craziness that happened, let's talk about the Colts a little bit. The Indianapolis Colts. We got some injuries. Actually, before we talk about the Indianapolis Colts, let's talk about these injuries, because one of them is an Indianapolis Colt. So we got, and every week I post, and it takes me like an hour to do it, like the top 3 most notable injuries for each team, except for Thursday Night Football. But I do the others. Brock Bowers is questionable this week. He did not play on Sunday. It made a lot of fantasy owners mad because they announced it right at noon, and people did not take my advice and check their lineups at like noon 30, like I tell them to. Then Amari Hampton, he is also he's on injured reserve, like Najee Harris. I believe Hassan Haskins is going to be their RB1 for the time being. But that rookie first-round pick, he's out for a little bit. Spencer Schrader, I can't remember if he is out for I think he's out for the season. But the kicker for the Colts, they signed Matt Badgley to replace him. And then Antonio Gibson tore his ACL. He's out for the season. I expect we see more Travion Henderson with that. You know, they drafted him. Yeah. We haven't seen a whole lot of him. It's been a lot of Ramondre Stevenson, but Ramondre Stevenson hasn't looked that great. So I expect we'll see more Travion Henderson coming up soon. But now let's do the boys. The boys in blue. Down in Indianapolis. Just as we all expected, the Indianapolis Colts are one of the top teams in the NFL. Jonathan Taylor's back to his old self. He's getting touchdowns after touchdowns after touchdowns.
These photos are fire. Just saying.
They are fire.
They're good photos. I was looking at something too. I was watching these photos as you were popping them up. I'm like, they're fire.
The fact that the Colts should have lost or should have beat the Rams last week. I think they knew that. They knew that they screwed up and they lost to themselves because they came out and absolutely obliterated the Las Vegas Raiders. The Las Vegas Raiders didn't even get a touchdown, I believe. They were 6-40. They had 2 field goals. And as an Ashton Gianti fantasy coach, wasn't a fan of that. But as a guy who lives in Indiana, I was like, okay, Indianapolis, I see you. Lou Anarumo, he's got that defense. I gotta give him credit. He's got the defense working. They just signed Jermaine Pratt, another former Bengal. So that's 3 former Bengals that they have on that defense now. Mike Hilton and Joe Bocci are the other 2. Joe Bocci plays more special teams, but still, he's got him working down there. Shane Steichen's got some stuff going too on that offense. They're doing all right, I think.
You think?
Gotta watch my words. I think they're doing okay. I'm excited for when they get Alec Pierce back. A.D. Mitchell just scares me. But when they get A.D. Mitchell back, or when they get Alec Pierce back, and Michael Pittman Jr., Tyler Warren, I think, is Offensive Rookie of the Year. Him or Emeka Egbuka would be my 2 picks right now.
Emeka Egbuka has had a really good year. But also, I think it's kind of interesting to look at the Tampa Bay wide receivers because as soon as Mike Evans and Chris Godwin are done, I mean, you have McMillan and Egbuka coming up just to replace them. It's like crazy in Tampa. Like, it is just a crazy concept to consider when it's time. But, yeah.
And Godwin seems to think he's going to go for a little bit longer. Like Evans could retire whenever now. He's a Hall of Famer no matter what. But I don't. The Indianapolis Colts. Who do they play this week? It's not going
Cardinals.
Oh boy.
They played the Cardinals.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Joe Como. I'm sorry, Silver Wolf AZ. this might be another just murder because they're kind of doing the Detroit Lions thing where they just kind of put their foot to the pedal and see how many points they can put up on you within regulation. Well, especially if Kyler, who is the Cardinals' current? Is it still Clayton Tune?
No, there's no way. Cardinals?
That's what I'm looking at right now. Oh, it's Jacoby Brissett. Ooh, that could be interesting.
Jacoby Brissett ain't bad.
No, but he's a former Colts quarterback.
Yeah, that is actually pretty interesting.
We can see that. I'm intrigued by that. If we see Jacoby Brissett against the Indianapolis Colts, I don't think it really matters. I think the Indianapolis Colts. Do you have any concerns about Marvin Harrison?
Yeah, for fantasy owners, I'd be concerned. I mean, he's been so up and down, and with somebody like Jacoby Brissett trying to get himself acclimated in this offense here, I don't know. I mean, it leaves the opportunity for him to probably have a lot of chances to be targeted, which could lead to a lot more receptions. But I imagine that this team, based on, I think they're going to try to rely on the run game despite the issues that occurred last week. I think they're still going to rely on it because Michael Carter had a pretty decent game for coming back. Former Jets legend Michael Carter. But yeah, I don't know. I think Marvin Harrison is definitely he exists, and I don't think that he is going to be like a talked about wide receiver like a Malik Neighbors or one of those top wide receivers like many people anticipated him to be. And I don't know if that's necessarily the fault of his own because of Kyler Murray or whatever the case may be. It definitely raises some questions. So if you have a better wide receiver in fantasy, I'd bench him. But from like a long-term standpoint, I think it's early on in his career. I don't think he has too much to worry about yet.
Okay. Well, I think for the record, I think the Colts absolutely dominate this game, and it's not.
I think it's going to be like a 31-12 final. I think it's going to be a lot of Cardinals field goals.
4 field goals.
4 field goals. That's what I'm thinking.
Yep. Okay. Yeah, I can give you that.
Yeah. Because I don't think there's going to be a safety or anything. So
let's do. I bet. Let me see the defense real quick before I say something. I'll take. I think they can put another 40 burger up.
You think there's going to be another 40 burger?
Yeah. I think it'll be like 40-12.
Okay.
40. I like 12.
So you also like the 4 field goals as well. Okay.
I like your 12, but I raise you 40.
You know what? I respect that, honestly. Yeah, I mean, nothing against the Cardinals, but I think that with Kyler Murray being hurt and with everything that we saw last week against the Titans, I just think that this team needs a lot of work. I think it needs a lot of just practice and just weeks to figure it out. And it's sad because I personally, at the beginning of the season, had a lot of hype around them because I thought that they could be a sneaky team. To which you compared it and said, no, I don't think that they're going to be a good team. And you have been right. You have been right. And it's sad because I love hyping up these teams that I think are going to be good, and then they all end up failing me. So, yeah.
I will be clipping that recording just to play of you saying I was right.
Yeah, I mean, you are right in many instances. I mean, it's not like I'm usually you're usually the voice of reason. You make the strong picks. I make crazy picks, and then 90% of the time you're right, but then the 10% of the time that I am right, I celebrate it because it's awesome. Like, I'll never forget the 24-16 final score. I don't even remember what game it was.
Okay,
I know it was a Panthers game.
That was insane.
Yeah, I got that straight up. But like, how does that even happen? Got it exactly right. I should have bet money on that. So.
Oh wow. All right. Let's get out of here. We got everyone. Thanks for stopping by. Thanks for checking us out. Make sure to like, comment, subscribe. It's a quick little action for you, but it helps us out a lot. And you'll get to see us celebrate Joe Flacco lead the Cincinnati Bengals to victory. Wow. or maybe the Browns win the AFC North. We'll see if I was right about that too. But in all seriousness, thank you for stopping by. Please remember to like, comment, and subscribe. Like I said, it helps us out a ton. Merch links in the bio if you want to support us financially as well. Until next time, go do something nice for someone.